Welcome to the second episode of the new show here on the channel, all about film photography, called Analog Hour. This month, Matt and I cover an array of topics, and it is quite a long episode, but I think it's a really fun one. We do all the usual, what we've been shooting, what we've been buying, what we've been up to content-wise. There's an exciting camera story about me finally getting my dream camera. We also touch on Matt's exciting new competition, which you can find over at mattlovescameras.com, linked below. Matt and I are both point and shoot lovers, so we decided to dive deep into our Canon short shot point and shoot collection and discuss which were our favorites and why. As promised in the last episode, we have some listener interaction, some questions and comments from you guys, the lovely audience, and we have a fun quickfire round from Matt. And there's also a cool little music photography collaboration going on that we will be introducing for the rest of the episodes. So jam-packed with heaps of good stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Analog Hour. Welcome back to the second episode of Analog Hour. Yay! I've been really excited and really looking forward to this. Matt Murray of Matt Loves Cameras. How are you?
I'm very well, Lucy Lumen. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Yep. It's cold again, but very, very cold weather here. But other than that, I'm feeling really good. It's Saturday morning. Little one's asleep, and Lux has just finished up term at school, so he's on holidays for 2 weeks, so that's like a really good
He'll graduate one day, won't he?
Feeling. Yes, he'll get there.
It hasn't been too bad up here this week. It's chilly in the morning and the evening, but during the day I've had my little coffee break outside with my pooch in the sun. It's been lovely.
Yeah, when the sun's out it's really nice, but when you're out of the sun it's cold. All right, well, let's get straight into it because we've always got so much to talk about and so much to cover.
So many opinions to be had.
I know, and we've got listener interaction this time as well, so we've got even more to go through.
Save us.
Yes.
Joke.
So yeah, what have you been shooting, Matt?
I've been shooting a lot of things. In fact, I've actually had to bring up a list of things I've been shooting because I've been shooting so many.
Wow.
So on Monday, I sent down to Ikigai Film Lab down there in Melbourne. I sent 7 rolls of film, Lucy Lumen.
7? Oh my God.
7. So I'm doing a Pentax Xpro Mini versus Canon Sure Shot Sleek video on my YouTube soon. So I sent 2 rolls down. I burned 3 rolls of Portra 800 on those bad boys.
Cha-ching.
So I know, a lot of money there. I also shot another roll of 400D, CineStill 400D in my Natura at ISO 1600 to see if I can, recreate some magic of the first shoot there.
Yeah, yep. Because you've already pushed that and it looked really good. So
yeah, and the videos on pushing CineStill 400D 2 stops has done really well, and people have been very nice about the images I took. So that was very lovely of them.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. So that one, I'm doing another CineStill video on 400D push 2 stops. Some other little point and shoots, a couple of little Canon Sure shots from the early 2000s, and another roll from my Contax T3. So. And then I was out there again last night shooting in Wynnum, which is one of my favourite haunts. So I actually had my Contax G1 with me, Lucy Lumen, and I put a roll of CineStill 400D in. And this time, do you want to guess at what speed I shot it at?
Did you go high? Did you go all the way to 30? You went all the way with
not all the way to 60. Not all the way. Go all the way. No, I did not go all the way with CineStill, where but they got to third base. They got to ISO 3200. ISO 3200.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so I dialed in ISO 3200 on my little Contax G1, and we went shooting together. And it was funny. It in bright sunlight. It was like, ISO 3200, the shutter speed goes up to something crazy like 1/2000th of a second, but I was still shooting at like F11, F16 to try and, not to be overexposed.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was almost finished the roll. I actually went through the roll really quickly, probably in about 3 days. And yesterday I was messaging you, you messaged me about something and I messaged you back. and it was a Hills hoist in a back garden, like a washing line,
Mm-hmm.
and the house looked abandoned, but I was still a bit scared, and I couldn't get a good angle from where I was, and so I jumped the fence. The fence is only about 3 foot high, meter high,
Yep.
but I jumped the fence and I ran
Yep.
into the back garden, looking around like someone's going to go, "What are you doing in my back garden?" And I was like, I was just so sweating. I was, no, I could barely touch
Anxiety.
it.
Yeah.
But I
Yep.
got a few shots of the Hills hoist, and I ran back over the fence, and I was like, the adrenaline rush
Yes.
of being on private property when you're
Private
not supposed
property.
to.
I love
So,
that. I love
yeah.
that rush. Yeah. When I got your voice message, I was, Lux could hear and we couldn't
Yeah.
stop laughing. And when you said, there was a Hills hoist, I was like, you're such a Hills hoist junkie. Like,
It's becoming one of my obsessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was walking around for ages, and I walked past the Indian, the curry shop, and I thought, it's not called a curry shop, it's called a Indian restaurant where they sell curry, but I call it the curry shop for short. And I was like, I'm going to get a curry. And I'm like, no, I'll come back here later. And I forgot about it. I rang up, ordered one, and they said it's 20 minutes. So I had to keep walking around. And I was walking along the street, and all of a sudden I saw this young lady helping this fella out of a car. And I was like, what's going on here? She's helping an elderly relative. But no, this guy gets out of the car in black, and he had this mask on, and it's old mate from Star Wars, and he's got his big red lightsaber.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was explaining this to the kids, and I said, it was Darth Maul from Star Wars, because it's not Darth Vader, it was Darth Maul. And the kids are looking at me like, Darth Maul? Who the hell is Darth Maul? I'm like, the guy with this lightsaber that's a red, and it's like a cross. And they went, it's Kylo Ren, Dad. Kylo Ren, get it right. I'm like, sorry. So, but that's what it must have been like in the 80s when I was talking to my dad about Star Wars. And, he's like, who's that fella? He sounds like an asthmatic dressed in black. It's Darth Vader, Dad.
And
Darth
you were like,
Vader.
oh, yes. Yeah.
So this lady was helping this guy out of the car. He was dressed up as Kylo Ren. He had the mask on. Poor old Kylo Ren could not see anything. He was just like walking around, bumping into trees and stuff with his lightsaber.
Yeah.
So there's two paths I could have gone on here, Lucy Lim, and two paths diverged in a wood. Was I going to be respectful and walk away? Or was I going to get my camera out?
Be like this person. Yeah.
So I discreetly got my camera out. The young lady saw me, and from across the road I took a photo. It wasn't very good. But then it all became clear. At this little shop, like a tire shop, there was some food trucks. And so Kylo Ren was walking around the food trucks with his lightsaber, and there was some Star Wars merchandise, memorabilia out.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Star Wars thing. So I did take a picture of Kylo Ren, and then I took some pictures of some Chinese. I had a great old time last night. I had a really, really good time with my
that's
little
awesome.
cameras.
Yeah,
was
I love
in
that.
the zone.
Yeah. Oh, in the zone. I love that. Yeah. And it's nice.
And seeing old mate from Star Wars was a bonus.
That just was a huge bonus. Yeah. Love when something like that happens when you have a camera and you've got like time, you were on your own. Like that's perfect. Yeah.
And the other thing was, I was also shot a roll of CineStill 400D at ISO 1600 through my Contax T3, which I haven't done before. And so I was shooting well into the evening in the dark with that, which was really fun. So yeah, I just felt like I felt at one with the camera last night. It felt good. What about you? What have you been shooting?
Well, you've made up for all of what I haven't shot, because I when I was planning for this, I was like, oh my God, I've only shot one roll of film. I've shot a roll of 400D.
Wow.
CineStill's getting a real workout.
That was last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the second one?
I think it was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. Yeah, it was the vintage car festival.
Yeah, the ones you posted in your
my F-Stoppers article.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's all
Beautiful
I've shot.
shots.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really happy. I think that's one of my favorite rolls of film I've ever shot. So yeah.
Ever.
I think so. Yeah. I'm really happy with it. And I know it's quite a trope to be shooting classic cars on film, but I was really happy with my shots, and I sort of approached it differently, I think, because I'm not like a car person.
Same.
So like Lux was like, oh, that's a blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I literally don't care. I'm just looking for like details.
Yeah. Design,
that are drawing me,
colours.
Things like that.
For.
So so that's, I think that's interesting, rather than when you can tell when they're like into the car and they want the whole car or the I don't know, whatever. Clearly,
let's get the carburetor and the 16 horsepower.
Yeah, I'm just like, I have no idea. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed shooting it, but yeah, that's all I've shot, because we've all been sick and just had no sleep because like my son is teething. So it's just like getting through the day is a win. So I haven't been able to shoot, which feels really weird, but hopefully this weekend, and now like Lux is on holidays, I'll get more time to shoot for sure. Hopefully I can go on some solo little like photo walks. So
# solo time.
Oh, yes, so good. Yeah. So have you bought, sold, or borrowed anything, Matt? What's
Well, you
happening?
know what? I went through my catalog of online shopping sites, and I thought, no, I haven't bought anything. But I did actually buy something. Hang on, I've got all my props handy except these ones. I'll
Yes,
show
I've
you.
got my props handy too. Yep.
Just you wait. You are going to be blown away. The listeners and
Okay.
watchers are going to be blown away. People, the listeners of this, I'm actually holding up two CR2 batteries.
Oh,
So
wow.
I bought some batteries. That's the only thing that I bought. I was running low, and so I bought some CR123A batteries and some CR2 batteries. That is the only thing I bought. My Agent Shadow still hasn't turned up.
Oh,
I think
no.
Stephen Dowling's gone, hey, can we get that one from Matt Murray and just like put that order in the bin? Let's not send him his Agent Shadow. No, only joking.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But it
Yep.
hasn't arrived, and I don't think I'm the only one, but I think most people seem to have got theirs by now. But mine hasn't arrived.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos and stuff of people who've got
Mm,
theirs. I think they are like they've been in the UK though, but
yes.
yeah, that's
Well,
hopefully
although
yours shows up soon.
Bill in Sydney got his over a week ago. So,
Oh,
but he
okay.
ordered a different thing to me. I think he got the briefcase, so perhaps it was a different carrier,
Yeah, maybe
postage
they
carrier on that.
did those first. Yeah, I have seen
Yeah.
them online. They look
Mm,
yeah, nice. But hopefully that comes soon.
yeah.
But I can't believe you haven't bought any cameras, just the batteries. It's very
No,
sensible.
I'm trying. I always say this, and I don't usually mean it, but I am trying to get rid of stuff. I've got a lot of cameras here surrounding me, and I am trying to
Mm.
get rid of stuff, and like looking to build up a little nest egg of money and see what I can invest in next.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Have you
Mm.
sold any cameras since we last spoke,
I think so. I think I've
Matthew?
sold a couple, just a couple, probably just after the last episode, a couple of little
Yep.
point and shoots.
Yeah,
But I've been
nice.
a bit lazy. I need to list some more. I haven't. I think I
Mm.
might do that tomorrow.
I know. Yeah, that's like the least exciting part is listing them. I
Mm.
find that really, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's good to move some out, get some money in, and get some more money for
absolutely.
film
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
Um, well, I haven't used the Pen FT yet either. So I haven't shot anything, but that will definitely be like my next thing that I'm shooting for sure. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to put Ektar in there, and yeah,
Excellent.
I'm excited to see that. I have an exciting story, an exciting
Ooh.
camera story.
Ooh.
So we haven't bought anything because we've just, like I said, been trying to get through the day. Definitely Lux is always looking. He's always got something that he wants to buy, but I'm like, no, just leave it. And I had a bit of a fiasco when I had a blood test the other day, and I ended up passing out, and it was just
Mm.
this huge palaver. And I got home and I was, had a little sleep, and then I woke up and Lux said, "Oh, that there's a package here." And it was from Germany, and it was this guy
Yeah.
who had, which is always exciting. Getting a package is like the most exciting thing. I think it's like the best.
Yeah.
And this guy, he contacted me on Instagram like a few weeks ago, and he said, "Hey, I love your YouTube channel. Blah 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 blah. I've got a little package, a little surprise. I want to
I
send
got
you."
a little something for you. Is that
Yeah,
what he said?
he sung that in the voice message,
He
and
sang that in. Let's get the German version, and we
in
can dub
German.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaba. That's the only thing I know in German. I have. Okay, go. Sorry.
And he said, "Oh, I've got some film." I was like, "Oh, that's really nice." Like I've had a few people send me some cool like expired film or
Yeah.
and I thought, "Oh, that's really nice." He said, "There's a little surprise in there too." So like Lux brought this package in, and I was, like feeling really low, and I wasn't feeling well. So opening it, and like there was quite a few rolls of film in there, not
Mm.
expired, like really nice stuff, which I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like that would have been more than enough.
Yeah.
And then there was a note. So I read the note, because I always read the note or the card like
You read the note
first.
before you got to the surprise.
Yes,
Come on. Are you
yes,
serious? I think you're making that bit up.
No, I was like, as a child, it's like you have to read the card before you, like, always drilled in. Very, very polite.
Yes.
And yes, I read the note and I was reading it, and then he said, "Oh, I've also popped in a camera that's been collecting dust that I think that you and Lux would really appreciate and do better with." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then it said Yashica and then T4, and I literally stopped reading it, and I was like, because I was like, "Oh, it must be a mistake. Like the 4 is a mistake. There's no way." Like I was just, and I actually started crying. Probably sounds so dramatic. I have it here. I keep going over and like looking at it, thinking like, "Oh my God, I can't believe like I own this."
And now Lucy drops it on air.
Oh my God, I know. I'm actually terrified to use it because, So anyway, so he said, I think, obviously you'd love your point and shoot. So yeah, I've always wanted this camera. Like this is probably my my white whale. It was like 10
yeah.
years ago when it was way cheaper, but I couldn't afford it. That's how I got my L35 AF, because that was like a you know, a budget version that I looked up online. I got that and I love that. And that's, you know, my fave, but I can't believe that I have this, and I am
That's amazing.
So excited to use it, and so grateful to Chris in Germany. Like I've sent him way too many voice messages telling him how grateful I am. He's probably like, all right, that's enough.
He's probably going to send you another camera to stop you sending him voice messages.
Yes, just to get rid of me. Yeah.
And so Chris, you can message me for my address, and feel free to send me
anyone else that wants to
premium point and shoots. May proceed.
Yes, and just comment below, add your address.
It's amazing. Well done.
Yeah, so that's my.
So you can wear your little film beanie now and go out with your Yashica T4.
I can, I can get like a Carhartt hoodie or whatever they are. It's just you know, all the stuff they wear. But yeah, no, I feel I'm
That's amazing.
Blown away. So I'm really excited.
I don't know much about the Yashica point and shoots. It's one of my blind spots.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know much about them. Now, the only one I've ever seen in person was when I went around to Graham Jago's place. Graham, of course, is one of the hosts of the Sunny 16 podcast. I met up with him in Oxfordshire in 2019. And he was just going through, he had all these cameras that he sort of cobbled together with cardboard and stuff. Like he's got some, you know, homemade kind of stuff cobbled together. And he goes, oh, and here's a Yashica T5. We got it at a car boot sale for £1. I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. And it's got the super scope in where you look down like a waist level viewfinder, but the T4 doesn't have that. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think that the T4 doesn't have that. There are a few different versions of the
T4 and T4 Slim, and I can't work out which one's which.
Yeah, I actually don't know. We've been watching videos on them. You know, when you get a camera and then you just hop on YouTube and you just watch all the videos. So we have been watching them, and there's a few different versions, but this one's the original.
Awesome.
Like
that's fantastic.
The original T4, which is you know, the original and the best. The L35, like the original, is the best as well. So
I have over here. So I would love the T5 with that super scope, but I kind of thought to myself, is that super scope thing, is that a bit of a what's the word? It's a bit of a novelty, not novelty.
Bit of hype around.
It's like, is it kind of useless kind of thing? Yeah, so I actually bought this. This is good for our conversation later on. This is the Canon SureShot 8, and it has a super scope there.
Oh yes, yeah.
And we'll talk about this later, and I'm going to do a video on this very soon. But my overwhelming feeling is that the Super Scope it's just a kind of a cool thing that's there, but functionally it's a bit crap.
Yeah.
So I wonder if any listeners have any experience of using either this camera, the Canon SureShot Ace, using the Super Scope for that, or using the Super Scope on the Yashica T5. Let us know, is it actually worthwhile or not? Because it feels like a bit of a, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Not
I think
novelty.
It's kind of, I guess not novelty. Like it's kind of just like a thrown in feature that's not really.
Not as good as you think it's going to be.
Yeah. Like it's just there so you can kind of say, oh, that's cool, which is, it is cool. And sometimes I think with point and shoots, that's what makes them different. You know, like I love their weird, quirky kind of functions. Even if you don't really use them, it's just cool to have that, you know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah. Any other gifts in the mail, or was it just the T4?
Just the T4, just casually, just the T4. That was it.
We can go out now. I've got my Contax T3. You got your T4, huh?
Yeah, we can do a Yashica off.
We can just go around going,
yeah.
Let's go to the Brisbane Camera Fair with those cameras around our necks.
Yeah, well now I'm like with the camera fair, I'm like, you know, because I have
these. Like,
I feel I will still go, but I feel made up with this T4. So
we should have
so
get
happy.
T-shirts done up, official YouTube influencers, and have our T4 and T3. You can wear your beanie. I'll see if I got a beret out the back.
Yep.
Get soy lattes at the truck. It's got to be on like Donkey Kong.
I do drink soy lattes as well, so it's really funny that you say that. And I did add that into my my article, my F-Stoppers article. Like I referenced you saying that, and I thought, oh, how funny, because I'm pretty sure I got a soy latte while I was shooting my Cine Still 400.
While you were wearing your beret. Yeah.
While I was wearing my beanie. So it's just all happening.
All stars are colliding at the same time. Yeah.
That's funny. So other than that, I haven't shot anything. What's happening with you content wise? I feel like you've been pumping out the vids.
Yeah, I have, but it's funny, like those Cine Still videos did really well, probably because Cine Still 400D is a new film. Everyone's excited about it. So the two videos about that, I think have got 1,800 and 1,900 views, which is really
good.
And my other one about the film, eight new film announcements, whatever it is, has got 1.8 or 1.9. And then I did another one on some UK camera pickups. And I was thinking, people love to see cameras, and your camera video where you picked up some cameras did really well. I haven't got that many subscribers yet. So it was little bit slow. I think it's sort of crept up to about 300 views. But then I did another Polaroid one. So I went out at night. This is not this weekend, last night. This is last weekend. And I shot these beautiful Polaroids. And
Yeah, they're really gorgeous.
Shooting SX70 at night. So I put it up on a tripod, and you get these beautiful images. It's the only thing you really got to do is compose and focus, because the camera has auto exposure. It knows how long it needs. So you get your SX70, and you need this accessory from the SX70 accessory kit. I tell you all about this in my video. Matt Loves Cameras YouTube.
Yeah, we'll link it below so people can go and watch.
And then you put this in the side of your camera. There's two little things there, and you press. What you do is, when you have it on a tripod, you've composed your scene and you focus, you just press this button, and it'll fire, for the shutter will open for 4, 6, 8, 10 seconds or whatever it thinks it needs. And you get a lovely little long exposure image, which is just beautiful.
So beautiful. They look so nice.
I don't know if anyone noticed this who's watched my video, but during the shooting of that video, a Polaroid was harmed. So I don't know if I've actually got it here. I think I threw it away in disgust. But what happened was, I was actually doing some B-roll of the video, Lucy Lemon, when I was showing people, here's how you plug this into the camera. Here's what you press when you want a photo. And I was pretending to simulate pressing the button. I pressed the button, and this Polaroid ejects. I was like, well, there's $4 down the drain. I took a picture of my sofa. So I was a bit annoyed and upset. That's like, damn you fool.
I know. It's bad enough when you do it with 35mm or whatever, you take it, you're like, oh no. But on Polaroid, it's just like,
I know,
oh my
God. It's all the worst.
Because it's just so much money.
With the accessory kit as well, I'm going to do it. This is another video that I'll be doing soon. I think I showed you some of these. So this is also a close-up little, here, it's over here. There's a little close-up filter. So you can get some really nice close-up images. And if you listen to this on the podcast, there's a close-up of some flower, a nice autumn leaf there, and it's not the wrong one. There's other ones. I did the back of my dog's head, which it's the back of a dog's head. I mean, I really enjoying the Polaroid. I wish you Polaroids in winter. I think for me it's a bit too bright in summer a lot of the time, so I like shooting in the winter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I haven't shot Polaroid in a long time, actually, because it is so expensive. And I've got that Polaroid now. It's a bit sort of it's very hit and miss. And I have an SX70. I should use that, but I don't have any.
Oh wow, do you? I didn't know.
Not an SX70. I've got it takes the SX70 film. Sorry. No, I don't have one. I'd love to have one of those just for the look, like the way it's just amazing.
It's got the look.
Oh, it's definitely got the look.
Love a bit of offset.
I haven't shot any, but I should, and I've never thought about shooting them at night. And I love what would this look like at night with the flash? Like that's a thing that I love to do. So definitely inspired me to try it out for sure.
That's a good segue to Polaroid have just released a new film. Now I was really hoping they've released yellow duochrome in the recent past. They've done it a few years ago when they were Impossible Project or whatever. But probably about 2 years ago, they released a yellow duochrome, which is really nice. I've probably got examples somewhere here I can't find. Then they released last year, I think it was a blue duochrome.
Yes.
I was really hoping for a pink or red next. They've gone with the green. The green has had mixed reactions. Apparently, it's a little bit more tricky to shoot than the other ones. So I was looking forward to. I'm thinking about putting an order into the Polaroid store in the Netherlands. The shipping is €50, which is a real kick in the bum. But I'm thinking I've actually run out of 600 series film, so I think I might grab a couple of packs of green duochrome when I put an order in. So I know you don't shoot much anymore, Lucy Lemon, but if there's any chance you do want any, let me know.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very kind of you. I think maybe I was telling Lux, I was saying, Matt said he's going to do an order. So I think we'll probably get some SX70 film for sure. Yeah, because I think that's probably my favorite. I think that looks the best, definitely.
It's funny, like 600 series to me, it looks, when I take photos in the day, the SX70 I've been taking lately, during the day, you've got to get you can't have very wide ranging contrasty situation. I guess it probably goes for 600 as well, but if you get a scene where there's shade and there's dark, the dynamic range doesn't seem amazing. So I think you've really got to know this is worth taking a picture of Polaroid, and this scene over here is not. It's not like 35mm film, you know. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go. You've got to be like very, very, very considered and kind of know that it's going to work. You can't just, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But it'd be cool if they did red. I think red would be cool, like rather than green. Green doesn't sound. I haven't actually seen any results. I feel like I've been a bit slack with the film news. The only thing that I did hear that I was going to quickly ask you about is that Santa color 100 I watched. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but we watched Jason Grainy Days. He did a video on it.
Okay.
They sent him some, and that he explained they're doing like a not a Kickstarter, but that campaign. Yeah, kind of similar to Cine Still. And I think he said they were halfway through and there was like 19 days to go. So I'm not sure if they'll get there. I hope they do. And then I was looking at it quickly, seeing how much it was to order some. Like I do like to put my money where my mouth is, or try and support, anyone that's doing anything. And I thought it looked really good. He didn't seem to do so well with portraits, like sort of similar to Hector, like everyone looked sort of a bit red. But the landscape shots look really nice. And I love like 100 ISO because it often suits like where we are. So, but what do you think about it? Have you seen
a couple of people have messaged me. I think someone commented on one of my YouTube videos, the one where I'm ranking the latest or 8 of the latest film announcements, and then a couple of people have messaged me on Instagram about it. Are you backing this? It's kind of getting to a stage where I'm kind of running out of money. So
you can't back everything.
No, you can't back everything. And I've backed recently. I put in orders with Oro, ADOX, and CineStill, Cosmo Photo, and Lomography. So I do need some more Polaroid film because I've completely run out of regular 600 film, and I was kind of thinking about getting some duochrome. So and I also shot some color frames. I don't know where are all my photos gone, Lucy Lim? I don't know where my photos are gone. But I also shot some color frame. I'll show you these.
Yeah, I think you sent me a picture. They looked really cool.
Oh, yeah. So these are really nice. These are just like, I fancy getting some more of these. It's regular 600 film, but they've got the colored frames.
Very cool.
I feel like my next purchase will be some Polaroid. I probably won't back the Santa color. I mean, I think it's a Kodak film, but I think Aero color film. I wasn't. I've seen some pictures that look good, but I wasn't overly wowed with it. So I thought, well, I'll probably sit this one out. If you get some, if you want to get some, I'll put some money towards it probably for a couple of rolls. But otherwise, I'll probably sit it out, I think.
Yeah, I'm just like, because we're going to the camera fair. So, and then I'm also sort of hanging out for when, like, somewhere like I used to buy like bricks of film from walk-ins, but they're just completely out of stock and, like everywhere. So I'm sort of hanging out for that because I'm like, I want to get a brick of something like Color Plus or that's a daily sort of.
And that's the thing. It's not ready now, is it? I think it's ready in December.
Yeah. So then, it's hard. But I think you've done more than enough, Matt, to just carry the weight of keeping film alive on your shoulders.
Saints Matthew.
Yeah. So
Matt loves cameras.
Sit this one out and let the rest of the community back that one.
Bear the burden.
Yeah, I'm sure that Jason's video would have gotten a lot of he has a really big influence. So they did well sending him that roll of film. I'm sure, that'll have some influence. I'm just looking at my notes, seeing where we're at. Content. So YouTube. You've got like we were just saying before, you've got like heaps of ideas. It's just trying to find the time to get them done and online. And I feel you for sure. Yeah, we had to sort of tweak our last video, the Portrait 800 video, because we'd done on location shooting with talking, and then we were going to do like talking head at home sort of style. But we've been unwell, so like bless Lux, he put it together and managed to like make a video which was really good, all with just what we had, which is cool. It's kind of nice when you get like a bit of a challenge like that, like change of plans, like so this might be a good time for you to your bone to pick with me. So I've like rewatched the video because I'm like, what do I say? And I'm like so nervous.
If you've ever listened to Matt Loves Cameras podcast, you'll know that occasionally I have bones to pick with Lucy Lumen, and this is my little journal.
I think you keep on yours.
I think it's only 128 pages, so but before the end of the year I might need a new one. So here is my bones to pick with Lucy Lumen. Now your latest video here I watched the other day is very good. It's called 85mm portrait lens for street photography ? And you start the video by saying, and I quote, "It's been a minute." It's been a minute. Now, in terms of phrases that young people say that drive me nuts,
Yeah.
It's been a minute is up there. It's not the top, but it's up
Really?
there. What does that even mean? It's been a minute. Well, of course it's been a minute. It's been more than a minute. It's been a bloody long time since your last video. It's been a minute since my last video.
Okay, well,
And-
I honestly thought that this was going to be like, so I've been super stressed because, I mean, not super stressed because I know that you're not a dick.
You thought I was going to say, you shot at F4 and you should have shot at F5.
I thought you were going to burn me for like, yeah, or like, I
No.
thought maybe I'd said like,
I burn you for other reasons.
I thought like I was going to have a 120 millimeter, like,
No.
you know, like where I'd said something and I didn't
No.
realize. So I watched it back and I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
really say anything, but now like that makes sense. Okay.
Now, because
so,
I have, talking
no,
about not
you
enough
go.
time to create content, it's because I actually then wrote a list of things that younger people say that annoy me.
Oh
So here
my
we go. I'm just going to
God.
run through them quickly, okay?
You're really showing your
But-
age here, Matt.
Absolutely. But however, there's a twist to this. There's a twist. Okay. So things that millennials say that annoy me.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Okay.
Even worse. Lex will have to edit this. I got a cough. Sorry.
It's okay.
Even worse. It's been a hot minute. What does that mean?
Yep.
Well, it's been a hot minute. Okay. Next one is I did a thing. Right? They're standing in front of a house that sold a wedding ring. We did a thing.
I hate that.
What
I
the
hate
hell?
that. Yeah.
You bought a house. Like, just congratulations, but just say you bought a house or you got married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adulting. Not fan of the adulting thing. I'm adulting today. I'm adulting. Tired adulting. Okay.
Okay. I haven't really heard that one. Like,
okay, right. Yeah,
I can't say I've heard that. Yeah, you're more in the loop than I am. Yeah.
Living rent free. If something that lives rent free in my head. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I've heard that either.
Okay.
Maybe because I have
TikTok.
no social life.
But probably the most idiotic thing, and this is another one from TikTok. I was today years old when I found out that. Blah 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 blah. Haven't you heard that one either?
I haven't heard that one either. This must
okay.
be.
You mustn't be on TikTok.
This is TikTok. Wow.
Yeah,
I
but
feel
it's all
I feel old.
It's all your generation.
Yeah.
But however,
bloody
now,
generation.
people might be thinking, oh, you're just some old fart who doesn't like all the new lingo. However, I'm a big fan of my son's generation's lingo. Okay.
Okay.
I love a good sheesh.
Oh shit. Yeah. See,
Sheesh.
I don't like that.
I love a good
I don't
sheesh.
vibe with that. No.
What about
I don't
yeet? You a fan of the yeet?
I don't know what that is.
Yeet.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I've never heard of that. Oh my God. Normally I'm really bad with these sorts of things. So it's
The
funny
lingo.
that you've picked me up on, and I'll tell you why I said that. It's been a minute. So I never said that until I went to America.
Yeah.
And when I went to America, everybody, like I went there with a friend and he had like a lot of friends in America. So we were like, directly connecting with people, going to parties, like doing stuff you do if you live there. So talking to people, and everyone would be like, oh, it's been a minute. And I was like, why does everyone keep saying that? It's really like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And they were saying lots of other stuff. Like they say, get a car, not get like, call an Uber. Like I'd say, call an Uber. Or call a cab. They say, should we get a car? And I was like, what? Like, that doesn't make sense.
What?
So yeah, that's where I got the in a minute. And I thought, I was just feeling really like, I don't know.
You were vibing with your audience.
And I was like, I'm shooting Portrait 800. Like, I'm just going to say, it's been a minute. So
yeah. The other one that my son says is, you had a bussin'?
No.
Like I'll make him the typical dad meal at home, like a cheeseburger, right? Which is, very simple and easy snack that I know he'll enjoy. And I always say to him, how's the cheeseburger? Even though I know he likes a cheeseburger, he'll never come and tells me he likes a cheeseburger. Okay. So I have to go to him and like fish for the compliment,
yeah.
How's the cheeseburger? He goes, oh, it's pretty bussin'.
I've never heard this.
Bussin' means good.
I think you're because you're like your son's age, like I don't really interact with a lot of people that age. So I think if I was still working at the school, maybe because that's how I found out about fortnight, because I was what does that mean? Like I thought they meant like 2 weeks, like fortnight. So I didn't know that there was a girl wiggle, like when I like I was well
there's a few
out
girl
of the
wiggles
loop.
now, isn't there?
Now there's heaps. So I think if I was at school I probably would.
So I'm not a fan of the millennial slang. I do like the new generation, Gen Z, or I don't know what even they're called, but
whatever they are.
I like their slang.
Well, there you go. We've both. Well, I don't feel like you've learned anything, but I've learned a lot. They say that a lot on the Moment channel. Like I don't know if you watch, like the company Moment.
Oh right, yeah.
Like the camera company or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And they're sort of in with a lot of like Willem Verbeek and like Volandis.
Oh, okay,
channels.
yeah.
They say that about things and like that fire and all that stuff. And I just
don't say
kind
fire.
of feel, I feel silly saying that. I kind of feel silly for saying it's been a minute now, but I'll probably say it
Don't
again.
feel
just to
silly.
annoy you.
Don't feel silly. Don't feel silly. You know what? I actually say a lot of things like that I just, and you think, what do I say that? Like if
Yeah,
people, other people
yeah.
say it. And so, yeah. Look,
Sometimes I think you think, oh, I'll just give that a go and see if
yeah.
see if that like suits me, or if
And
I
it's
can
my,
be
my
that kind of
little,
person.
my little book here of Bones to Pick with Lucy Lumen. So it keeps me busy in the
I'm glad that
quiet hours.
I'm glad you've got that. Yeah.
Yes. Filling up rapidly.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Well, I'm glad that we got that out of the way because I was
Thank
quite
you.
nervous about it. So, getting back on track, so I've, my Portrait 800 video had to be switched, but I'm still pretty happy with it. And I thought that Lux did a really great job with the music as well. There was like 3 different tracks in that, and I thought they were pretty cool. So I think that really carried the video because there wasn't a lot of like, dialogue. So
you're not really a big dusk shooter, are you?
No,
really...
no,
I love it. I love dusk.
you
I love it.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Like it looks,
yeah.
But I just never. I don't know.
I've got an idea. I don't know if it was an image in your latest video or one I saw of you, but I've got an idea for a collab zine me and you could do.
Ooh, okay, yeah, hit me.
I'll tell you off air. Should I tell you off air?
Let's do it off air, and then we'll decide if we're going to release.
Could be like $1 billion idea. We don't
want anyone to take this $1 billion idea.
No, because I've had so many $1 billion ideas, which is
me too.
So
all right, we'll keep that one to ourselves. Yeah, so I think that's pretty, for me, it's just the video. And then I had to cancel a lot of podcast interviews, unfortunately, with Sour Cream US, Jackie, who I love. I think she's such an amazing photographer. Yep. I will link her below. So I had to cancel that, but I will reschedule with her. And I had some
other questions for Sour Creamus, but I neglected to send them through to you. But if you still need more, let me know.
You can do that. And then I had to cancel Caleb. He's the channel Bad Flashes. I was really excited for that too because he works in the movie industry, so we can chat about movies and stuff. But I am chatting with Gutter Man Mike on
the Gutter Man.
Yes, on
the Gutter Man Cave in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, and I've never, because he always does his podcasts like through Skype and it's just audio. So I've never like seen him. So, and I always do mine through Zoom, and I always get people to. So
you're interviewing him on your podcast?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I sort of half hinted to him that we might get him on the Analog Hour.
Yes. Well, we can do that, and it can be different because I'm going to get him on.
Talk about music.
To talk about music, pretty much.
Oh, great,
basically, none of my
joke.
Talk about how much we love vinyl, because none of the questions are like photography related, really. And I'm really excited for that because it's like I always feel bad if I go on someone else's and then it totally gets derailed, but it's mine, my podcast. So talk about whatever.
Do what the hell you want.
Do whatever I want. So I'm excited to chat with Mike.
Gutter Man, Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes, I'm very excited. But yeah, other than that, F-Stoppers, I've written 2 articles for them.
Your debut on F-Stoppers.
Yes, which I'm really loving. I love writing. And it's funny because it's like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's so much less work than a YouTube video in that, like I can sort of, get the layout of an article in like an hour and a half. And then, obviously I've got to go through and edit and like Lux helps me, and then you got to upload it and everything. Yeah. But like in terms of comparing it to YouTube, like it's the overheads are so much less, like the time I can just sit and do it. I don't have to like go out and, it's just, it's so much easier. So I'm really enjoying
excellent.
Into that.
First 2 articles are really good.
Thank you.
I haven't looked at the figures, but you did really well in that first one. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was surprised. So, and I really like writing about like YouTube and content creation around photography. And I feel like F-Stoppers is probably a good like audience for that.
They have a very big reach. I'd say I've written almost all of my articles for them have been film, a couple of digital ones, but almost all have been film. I'd say it's easier writing about digital for them. But I think the one that you did, for example, that was just about YouTube and photography, and I think that's why it did so well.
Yeah, it's more broad. It wasn't. Yeah. I tried to make it like, because I think those rules apply to if you're starting a digital photography channel, or
absolutely,
a
or a knitting YouTube really, channel, or
anything really. Yeah. Like you can apply that to anything. So I think it was nice to be free from just the film photography like bubble,
straight jacket,
like. Oh dear.
And of course, writing for F-Stoppers will make Lucy Lumen even more loved than before.
I hope so. I worry that there's going to be like a like
There
a
are
mean comment? Because
there
like,
are
you
well,
know,
there are people in the photography community who don't like f-stoppers. That
yeah,
and even being associated with them, I mean, I think things are what you make them. And thing is, you write good
totally,
articles. It doesn't matter who you're writing it for. If you write good
totally.
articles, you stand on your articles. And if people have a
Yep.
gripe against this publication or that publication, well, that's
Yep,
up to
for
them.
sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And I think they have they have really good reach. So,
Absolutely, very good reach.
I like that's good for me, like it's good for you, like for your channel, like, like getting exposure on everything else you're doing. So I think you gotta, use what you've got. And I'm really enjoying it. So
Excellent.
I'm excited to see where it will go. I am still writing for Cosmo Photo as well. I'm working on a short story at the moment. That I'll probably hopefully get finished and send over there too. So two very different sort of styles of writing that I'll be doing. Like the f-stoppers is a lot more polished and like professional for me, at least, because I am definitely not a professional person. So by any stretch of the imagination. Thank you. Did you want to talk about your I guess it's kind of content in the content umbrella, your new competition, Matt?
Oh yes. So one of the rolls of film I've been shooting, I haven't gone through all the rolls of film I'm currently shooting because there's just so many I can't remember. But I'm shooting with my little Lomo LCA, which is a beautiful Russian camera, a camera which actually, again, good segue back to Stephen Dowling. Stephen Dowling wrote a really good piece for BBC a few years ago. Did the Lomo LCA save film photography or something like that. But if you Google BBC Lomo LCA, you'll come up across the article. It's a really good article, very interesting, very thought provoking, and I think he's actually right about the whole thing. I think Lomography and the Lomo LCA camera did do a lot for this revival of film, even though some people these days might not even, some newer film shooters might not even recognize the camera.
Yep.
But I had one of these cameras. I left a roll of film in it for 10 years. I then got it processed by Ikigai, and the results are really cool. And I've been meaning to do a video about this. I kind of got my own roll of found film. Found film is when you buy a camera and there's a roll of film in there. And it's, oh, look at this found film. I got these cool photos. I actually got my own roll of found film here in my old Lomo LCA. So I want to do a video about that soon. But in the meantime, I thought that camera was broken, so I bought another LCA. And then I shot the first roll. There was an issue with it. I'm like, I just don't have good luck with Russian cameras. But I've got a roll of expired Ektachrome in there now because I'm going to get it cross-processed. And the reason I'm getting it cross-processed is because I'm running yet another competition through my website and podcast. So if you go along to mattlovescameras.com, and I'm just looking at my website now, there's actually right at the top, across the banner at the top, there's a thing that says Xpro, Xpro film competition. So Xpro, of course, is not the Fujifilm camera. Xpro means cross-process. And cross-processing, I'll give you a definition of it. I'm sure it's people who could explain it better than me. But cross-processing, actually, I've actually read it off my website. I'll just read it off my website.
Read it straight off the website.
What is cross-processing, Lucy? I'm glad you asked. Cross-processing is the deliberate processing of film in a chemical solution intended for a different type of film. So, for example, if you had slide film goes in the E6 process. But in cross-processing, you take your slide film and you put it in through C41, and it gives it a color shift, different contrast and saturation, and it gives it some really cool different sort of looks. So in terms of color film, that is probably the most common cross-processing. You get slide film, either fresh or expired, and you get it done in regular C41 chemicals by a lab. You tell them, I want this cross-processed in C41, and you get these cool images. And so that is my next competition. So if you go along to mattlovescameras.com, look for the Xpro film photography competition. There's some examples of it up there, and the kind of thing you can do. It's open for any kind of cross-processing. So you could shoot color. I know some people shoot color film and develop it in black and white chemicals. That's cross-processing as well.
Okay,
and so it was funny. I was chatting to Adrian Doyle. Adrian has taken part in every competition so far on Matt Loves Cameras, and he sort of said, we were chatting about something, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm getting some slide film to enter the competition," but he sort of said, "I'm not sure what to do exactly, what kind of images would look good processed." And I just sort of said the same thing I said to other people who have talked to me about purple. People who used to say to me about Lomochrome purple, I don't know what to shoot with Lomochrome purple. Just shoot it. Just shoot it as it is. Don't think about it too hard. Be lomography like in your outlook.
For sure.
Don't think, just shoot it. You'll come up with some, things that you thought would look bussin', things that you thought would look fantastic. they'll turn out to be, and things that you thought, oh, this will look horrible, they'll turn out to look amazing. So it's just a process about shooting a roll of film, not exactly knowing what it's going to look like, a bit of surprise. So we'll be doing, hopefully we'll be doing a competition with that and a zine.
Yeah, I was going to say, will there be a zine? Yeah. Well, I know it's more work for you, but
we've only, the only person I know who's actually shot a cross-process film so far is Nathan, our friend Nathan here in Brisbane. Yeah, so Nathan has shot some, I think he shot 120 in his one of his 120 cameras. I can't remember which 120 camera it was now, but he showed me one and it would look really amazing, and he said he's got an even better one. So far I think I've got one contestant in the competition. I have just put together the last competition which ended, which was the cheap pano camera one, which you entered. I just put together the zine on Thursday night for that. I was up to about midnight. So we had 42 people into that one, and I'm just about to send the print file to the printers this weekend and get them posted out. But yeah, so this next one is on cross-process film photography competition. Get along to mattlovescameras.com.
Nice. I have a question about the competition, Matthew.
Please.
Does Cine still count? Because people say that that's technically cross-processed. Is that correct?
No, my understanding is that Cine Still film is meant for C41 processing. It originally, do you mean like 800T?
Yeah.
So 800T is what, Vision 3 500, but it has the remjet removed.
Yep.
That's a good question. Is it cross-processed or not? I don't even know.
Just as a technicality, you know what I mean? Like if somebody was like, oh, well, technically, and can they enter that? You know,
right.
like
bones to pick with Lucy
add it to the book.
Question that I did not have a heads up about, and I don't know the answer. Right, add that to the book.
Oh no!
Let's have a look.
Is piling up.
What is? I don't actually know. I absolutely love the Cine Still 400D. 800T, I've shot 2 rolls of it ever, and I didn't shoot very good pictures with them, and so I don't really have a good relationship with 800T. That's a good question. I'll consider that.
You can get back to us. I just thought that I would ask because I feel like someone else will probably ask. I didn't actually think of it myself. Lux said to me, and then I was like, oh, that's a good question for Matt. So I maybe you can get one for him too. A book for
the page in the back can be for Lux. All the rest of the pages are for you.
Bones to pick with the whole family.
Not with the little one.
Little Luca.
Not with little Luca.
So that sounds really exciting. I'm really excited about the competition. I might even put some slides up of some examples of cross-process film so people can sort of see what we're talking about. Like I'll add it in.
And one way to see some examples as well, sorry to cut you off, but if you go to Google, I'm just going to do it now, Google Ektachrome 64T sample images, and the first result back should be mattlovescameras.com. And in that page I shot some Kodak Ektachrome 64T and cross-processed it, and these look busted. These look amazing.
They do.
Unfortunately, the competition, it's basically any images that you shoot this year that you've had cross-processed. Okay, so if you did a cross-processed roll in February or whatever, that's fine.
Okay. It doesn't have to be like shot new.
No, it doesn't have to be. Okay. No, but it can't be from 5 years ago like these images. Well, 2 years ago like the images already shot. It's got to be this year.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't go back to your roll of film you've already shot and go, oh, just cross-process these. It doesn't quite work like that.
You've got to. Okay. Yep. Laying down the law here.
We've got to have it cross-processed by the lab, of course, at the time of.
Yes. Yep. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. Your images look really good. You showed me them when we did our first photo walk together. Because I never really. Oh,
because that's right.
Because you gave me.
I gave you the same role. Yeah.
You've given me the same role. So I've
and
got
you've
that
never
in the
shot
fridge.
that.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for the competition, which is now. So now I will shoot it. So more bones to pick. So many bones. It's all bones. So I'm really excited to shoot that because you showed me your images when we first officially met in person, and I was like, oh wow, because I didn't really.
How do you
do? I never really sort of knew that you could do that, and I shot a roll of Velvia, but the lab that does do E6, they stopped doing it, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to send it away. and I just left it in my fridge, like, you know, and I thought I'll deal with that another time. And then I saw your shots and I thought, oh, I'll get it cross processed
Yeah,
at Camera
it's really
House,
fun. Like
and it
you get
looks
some.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it with fresh slide film, although fresh slide film now is so expensive. It's kind of like, oh,
Yeah,
would you want to cross
yeah.
process fresh slide film? So if you got some old slide film kicking around, sometimes, you know, I shot the first roll of Ektachrome 160 I shot was a little bit dark. So I've actually rated this film at 100 because it's from the same batch, so I know it might need a little bit more light. It's got to be very contrasty, I think, and very bright, but like, you know, it's just a bit of fun, you know. It's
Yeah, totally. I love your competitions for that. That it's like, like you're saying, like people are like messaging you, or, you know,
yeah,
how should I shoot or what should I shoot? Like, and a lot
yeah,
of those competitions have that vibe. I think we talked about this last time with the like Australian analog one, and you got to
yeah,
pick a
yeah,
category, and there's these rules. And I get really put off when I go to the website and then it's like this, and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, maybe I'll just leave it, because it is sort of nerve wracking entering a competition,
yeah,
whatever it is, because you're like, you know, here's my work, and you know,
yeah,
it's got the word competition. So I love yours for that, and I think like the community really appreciate the like fun kind of like lomography type sort of vibe that they have. So
yeah.
yeah, this is very in keeping with that, and I'm excited to see everyone's results, because they do get kind of like crazy. And I know mine looked really like super saturated, and there was some portraits of me. I had red lipstick on, and like it was like they just like popping, like the reds were just
Yeah.
so saturated. It looked really really cool. So yeah, I'm excited. I think I'm going to shoot mine at night with the flash, maybe in my T4. That's what I'm thinking I
Nice.
might do, and then get it cross
Very cool.
processed. So yeah, awesome.
Brilliant.
Well, I'll link everything below so people can go over to the website and check it out. And yeah, hopefully we've put some examples up for people to
Mm.
see as we're talking. um is there anything else content wise that you wanted to touch on?
No,
Matt, you're all good? All right.
exhausted.
We were exhausted with your content. I know it's exhausting creating content. We were going to talk about Ikigai's new
Yeah.
recycling program, like announcement thing.
Yep.
Yeah, on Instagram. So it was really cool. I
Yeah.
feel like
So I think, sorry, you want to.
no, you go.
I was going to say that Ikigai, I think me and you kind of knew about this behind the scenes a little bit because we chat to Peter down there sometimes.
Yeah.
We knew some small details, not the full picture. But the other day on Instagram, Ikigai Lab down there in Melbourne, Ikigai Camera, put up some stories where they had literally these tubs of thousands and thousands of, you know, not ADOX ones, but just normal canisters, you know, Kodak,
Canisters,
Fuji,
yeah.
the not the canisters. What do you call it? What do you call this? I always call it a canister, but
I think
what
they're
is it?
canisters.
I don't
Yeah.
know. These things that you put film in, the plastic
Yep.
things. And basically what they're doing is they didn't release all the details yet, but basically they're setting up a facility where other labs, they're getting all the ones that they get sent in, other labs are sending them theirs, and they're going to be recycling them, aren't they, Lucy Lemon?
Yes, very exciting. And turning it into, like, we don't have all the details yet, but turning it into some kind of product, like the repurposing the plastic and using it to make products for
Yeah.
film photographers, which is super awesome. And I'm so excited to back whatever it is that they're doing.
And they've had a lot of good press about it, haven't they?
Oh, like the comments on the post, and
Yeah.
like so many people were reposting it saying like,
Yeah.
this is so awesome. And I had heaps of people DMing me like, wow, this is really cool. I
Yeah.
had somebody message me and say that there's a lab I think they're in Manchester, called Take It Easy Lab.
Yep.
And they do a similar thing, I think. And like they're really trying to push, you know, like making it as sustainable as possible for them, because it is really like we have a lot of those canisters. I sent some into to Ikigai actually, but
Yes.
I always think, oh, like, you know, it's such a waste. And I know Ritzy, he's got he has a YouTube channel. And he has a film he made, like a black and white film, New Classic.
Yes. Yeah.
I always get it confused. Yeah, it's something like that.
New Classic Fomapan.
Yeah. And he put it in like a cardboard box rather than the plastic canister. And I was like, that's such a good idea. So yeah, it seems very like.
So I guess the logical conclusion we draw from that is they're taking these and they're, you know, melting. I don't know how it works, melting them down and making other plastic things from them.
Yeah.
I guess that would be great if they can make something that's useful and people can use in the community. That's great.
Yeah, so they're like recycling it and like repurposing it. Purposing in it into something that we can use, which is, I think that's awesome. And yeah, definitely very excited to see where that will go and what it is. Very excited. So yeah, and I will link them below as well if anybody doesn't know about them. Their scans are just the best. I always feel
I'm
like
actually
such-
waiting. I keep looking at my phone because I think they do work on a Saturday. I'm hoping I'll get a text today saying my scans are ready, but it could be Monday.
Yeah. I think they get pretty busy there, but they are like the turnaround is always like it's funny like because sometimes I'll go to Camera House and it'll take longer because they just get so slammed and they've only got one person on the C41 machine, and then they're serving customers as well. Whereas you know, Ikigai, they're just doing the developing. So
this episode of Analog Hour is brought to you by
yes.
Ikigai Camera.
I just love it, and I love I bought Lux their tote bag, like that red colored one, and like he said to me the other day, like I came home and I had it, and he was like, you've just stolen that.
Is he
like,
rocking that around Burley when he goes for his soy latte? Or? I can just imagine him.
He did say, I think it's more you than me. So did
me?
You buy? Like no. Like he said to me, it's more. It's
so
more
you
Lucy.
Bought it for him, but knowing that it was actually for you.
I think so. Yeah.
We've all done that.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, we have all done that, haven't we?
Yeah.
I got him other stuff too.
One year I bought Sarah. This is a lot. Elodie was a baby. I bought her a Wii for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And she bought me, which is actually what I wanted, and she bought me a spa voucher, a weekend away at a spa retreat, which is what she wanted.
That's what she wanted. So, I love that.
But she bought it for me, and I bought her the Wii.
Oh dear. Yeah, no, we've all done that. I bought him a Leica R4S. What is it? Like that was his present. So and you know, that's what he wanted really. The tote bag was just
Was he impressed with that though?
Thing. Yeah, he was loving it. He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take my Leica." Like every time we go out, he's like has to mention, or you know, he loves it. Loves being a Leica man.
Red dot man.
Red dot man. Yeah. Oh dear. So moving on from there, we were going to talk about, or I wanted to talk about Canon Sure shots. I did mention this in the first episode because I own quite a few. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So, and I know that you have quite a few as well. And I do get a lot of people messaging me like, you know, what's like the best one to buy, or what point and shoot should I buy? So I thought maybe we could kind of talk about the ones that we think are really worth it and like why we like them. And like give people some advice or just talk about how cool they are.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video soon on my favorite Canon Sure shot cameras. Are you going to do one on yours as well?
I don't know if I'll do a video because I've already done a video on I think I have. It's hard. Sometimes I lose track. So the 76 zoom. Yeah. That's like my go-to like daily carry because it just works. Like the build quality is really good compared to like the L35. Like if I take that out, it's masking taped up, you know, and it's to change the like the ISO is like really fiddly and this changes. Yeah. Oh, now I'm singing. I don't know if people need to hear that. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of the 76 zoom, and I think there's a few different iterations of that as well. You probably know more about this than I do. I only really know about the ones that I have, but I think this is super underrated. Like I've always had really, really good results. It never misses focus. And
this is the thing.
I just love it. Sometimes
I've even seen people say this in Facebook groups, like they'll say, "Oh, that's just a point and shoot. It would be terrible quality, blah, blah, blah." Well, people who don't like point and shoots don't understand is that not all cameras, but generally in the 90s and early 2000s, these cameras were extremely sophisticated. You know, all the innovations in camera technology they learned from SLRs and rangefinders or whatever cameras they had, they all went into these models for consumers. They wanted consumers to buy their cameras and get the best quality out of them. Now, of course, there are point and shoots that are absolutely terrible and crap, but generally things like the Canons, the Pentaxes, you know, all of those brands had fantastic point and shoots, and they were 100%. Very high quality. This is what people don't understand. I'll show you a few of mine from throughout the ages.
Yeah, don't give away too much because we want to see your video. But
I'll give you a 10-second one on each one.
Sneak peek.
So you remember this little guy?
Yes,
this is the Canon.
I love that. Yeah,
AF35 ML.
Yep.
This is the second version of the Auto Boy series, 40mm f1.9 lens, which is amazing. Sorry, can we get got a frog again? Kermit, where are you? Can we get that edited out? So this is the Canon Canon AF35 ML. It's beautiful 1.9 lens. You can't actually shoot at f1.9, of course, but it's still a nice camera. Next up in really my range, this is one I was shooting once just to sell, and then I really loved it. I thought the results were fantastic. Canon Sure Shot Supreme f2.8 lens, fixed lens, very nice. Next one, still from we're still in the 80s. This is one that I know you have. I think you've done a video on this.
Yay!
The
Yeah, I love
Sure
that.
Shot Telly. Sure Shot Telly. So it's got 2 lenses. I can't read. It's so bright in this office with my lighting and my makeup here. But it's got a 40mm and a 70mm lens.
Yeah.
And you sort of move them in and out. Fantastic.
I really like that one. Yeah. And it's real chunky. Like
chunky monkey. It's really chunky, yeah.
I love a chunky monkey camera.
And then 2 from the 90s that are very similar. You've got the Canon. I've done the review on my podcast of this. I might do a YouTube video on this one. So which one? What's yours badged as? Mine's called the Prima AS1.
Mine's badged as the Canon Sure Shot A1.
Yeah, so yours is the North American version. Mine's the European one.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
So yeah, a massive, cool, lovely viewfinder for us people with crappy eyes.
So good, so
but
big.
It's really nice, yep. And then if you can't, like these are a bit expensive these days, but if you can't afford that, look out for this bad boy. Now this isn't waterproof, but this is the Sure Shot AF7. It has, do you notice anything about the viewfinders? They're almost identical.
They are, yeah.
They both have the massive viewfinders.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford the Sure Shot waterproof one, and you don't really need the waterproof capability anyway, look for the AF7.
Yep.
Really nice. I really love the images from this. I think it's only an f4 camera, but that wouldn't bother you, Lucy Lumen.
No, not at all.
And my other one is, I don't even know where it is, but the Sure Shot Sleek I've been shooting with as well.
Yeah,
that's big fan.
That's nice. Yeah, I like that.
Unusual.
I've got a few.
Show us your Sure Shots.
So I was going to say before I forget the Canon waterproof one that we were just talking about. It's so funny because it looks like a toy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got them all lined up on like the bottom shelf, these Canons. And sometimes Luca will find his way in here and he's very quickly like ushered out because it's like,
you need an electric fence.
Pretty expensive in here. Yeah.
Just like low voltage.
It's low voltage for him. Yeah. So anyway, he always grabs that. Like he goes straight for it because it looks like a toy, and I just I laugh. And he one day he had it and he was walking around, and obviously I took it off of him. But so I've got the 76, I've got the waterproof, I've got the Tele, same as you, which I really
cool
love.
Camera.
It is like
chunky.
It is very chunky. It's really light though. But it does sort of
multiple exposures.
It does do multiple exposures. I have a video where I shot it and I did use that function, and we got like a couple of cool portraits with some flowers over the top. But
did you use this? Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, that's okay. No, that's
did
all right.
you use the soft focus filter?
Yes,
it's terrible. I thought it was terrible.
All of my childhood photos. So this was my childhood camera, not this exact one. This was what my parents used to take like all of my photos. You know, when I was around sort of like 6, 7. And my dad would always say, "Do you want the bold and the beautiful?" That's what he would call it. So all my photos, like me, like 7-year-old, like really posy, and they've all got that filter on them. It's really fun. I'll have to find them and put them on Instagram so everyone can see the little Lucy Lumen with that for like Vaseline filter. It's it's terrible. It's really trashy, but it's like it's a fun little feature on that camera. And I think that's what we were saying before about point and shoots, where it's like they have these cool little features that even if you don't want to use them, it's just kind of cool to have.
Absolutely.
I also have the Canon Auto Boy WT28, which I have only used once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the world map on the back. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, Nikon had a camera like that as well, like a zoom with a world. I don't. What was that about? Like, so when you're out taking photos, you can see what time it is in Hong Kong.
Yeah, you can.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I guess when you're traveling, then I don't know. Yeah,
bizarre,
isn't it? It's got the
like,
world time, date, and then like a little map, which is pretty cool as well. Like,
I suppose if it changes the date imprinted on the photos according to what time zone you're in, but it seems like a very niche traveler kind of.
It's very niche, very very niche. But I think that's kind of what's cool, like about these sort of things.
Yeah.
And then I have which I've been meaning to do a video on for a while, and I haven't delivered on that promise. The Canon Zoom XL, which is like
that is a chunky monkey as well.
Chunkiest of the monkeys here.
What's its unique selling feature? That one.
So apparently on the Canon like history website, you know, where they've like archived all the cameras.
It's a really good website. Yeah, it's
really cool. It says that this camera boasts like SLR quality like lens, which I was like, oh, you know, and then I used it and like, oh my god, it's like, I'm like, I can't believe that's come from this. Like, it's just that so sharp and like amazing. So
and this is the thing, like Canon didn't make, people talk about really good point and shoots. You know, they talk about, you know, Nikon, or they talk about Contax, or they talk about other cameras like, you know, Ricoh cameras or whatever, but or Fujifilm. But Canon, to me, they made some of my favorite point and shoots. The really curious thing about Canon is they had all this SLR, you know, history of making great SLRs through the 80s and 90s, and past then as well. And of course, you know, they're using their technology in the camera you just showed us. But it's really odd that Canon never made a point and shoot, a premium point and shoot, where you can shoot an aperture priority. You can set the aperture. It's really odd because, you know, Fujifilm made them later on in their sort of history. You know, Contax made them. Pentax never made one, but Ricoh had the TC1. So I was Minolta TC1. Ricoh had the GR cameras where you could change the aperture. So a lot of the camera manufacturers made those point and shoots where you could change aperture, but Canon never did.
Yeah, interesting. I never thought about that, but yeah, that's so true. Yeah, there's not like a Canon camera that everyone's like, oh my god, like a point and shoot. Yeah, that's so true. But I would recommend, I'd recommend any of them because I love point and shoots, but the Zoom XL, if you don't mind like carrying it around, but it kind of feels like, it just feels the same as carrying like an SLR, you know, and you're going to get that quality.
Is it heavy?
So, it's not, oh yeah, it's pretty heavy. I just picked it up and it's pretty heavy. So yeah, it's not something you're going to be carrying around all the time, but we got it, my sister-in-law bought it in an op shop in Brisbane.
Nice.
Like she FaceTimed us and was like, oh, like this is here. And we were like, oh yeah, okay, get it. I think it was $40.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't think anything of it, but then we used it and we're like, this is really cool. So I'm glad to own it for sure. I think that's it. That's all that's all I have. But I just think they're cool cameras.
Yeah, the only one I missed out of that bunch is the Ace, the Sure Shot Ace. Which I've got here now, but I will do a video on this on my YouTube about it, but they had all other ones. Like I've got one over there. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called the Joy, the Sure Shot Joy, right? And there's this thing on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're thinking, what the hell is this? Why is there 1, 2, 3, 4? You can set it to how many shots in a row you want it to take. So you put it on 4, you press the shutter, it takes 4 images in a row.
Wow.
Why?
What was going on? Especially now with the price of...
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The one camera, and again, I will talk about this in a video I'll do soon, but the one camera which people rave about, and I recently heard iDreamer Cameras talking about this not once but twice, so Jeff and Gabe were talking about it, is the one it sounds similar to this. This is the Sure Shot Telly. Okay, it's got the 2 different lenses in that go in and out. There's also the Sure Shot Multi-Telly, which I've got up here. Now this one, I've just never got on with this camera. So it shoots full frame and half frame.
Okay.
I've got it here. I was going to sell it, but then unfortunately I was on holidays, and so that's it there. It shoots full frame and half frame. There's a switch in the back. So Anil Mystery and the iDreamer Cameras crew absolutely just sort of gush over it. I've never really got on with it, and it's got a broken battery door now, so it's going to be a masking tape, a gaffer tape job.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of stuck with it now. I can't even sell it loose and lemon. So I don't know. People rave about that one, but it's sort of weird. The lens covers over all the time. You never see the lens until you actually take a photo, and then it comes out. And in the words of Jeff Greenstein, it comes out like a cuckoo clock. It goes cuckoo, takes a photo and goes back in.
Wow.
Weird.
Very weird. Yeah.
I'm just not into it. But I'm stuck with it forever now.
Yeah, you'll just have to. Yeah, it's in the graveyard of the point and shoots now. But it's very cool. See, that's what I mean. Like you think I don't know like all the cameras at all. I'm not that sort of person. But you think like, or you're privy to all of them, and then like someone does a video on a point and shoot, or like even your video with your UK pickups, I was just like, I think I commented and I was like, oh, I want that camera now, because like that looks really cool. I can't remember now. I think it was maybe the
Minolta.
Yeah, I think it was the Minolta.
Because the Minolta, the old Minolta, the chunky monkey.
Yeah.
Because that is essentially, it looks like that's essentially the Minolta version of this. Or perhaps this was the Canon version of the Minolta. Who knows? But
who knows? Yeah.
They're very similar cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. And I liked the look of the was it the Xpro, the last one with like the black, black and silver. Yeah, because I have a Pentax Xpro. I can't remember what model it is because there's a few, but I think that's great too. And I recommend that to people who are like on a budget, because they're still not that expensive. So
SBOs have got a very good reputation. I don't know. I feel like I've shot a few SBO zooms and I've never really got cracking pictures out of them. I feel like I always get better ones out of the Canon cameras. Maybe that's just me. And the SBO Mini, again, spoiler alert here for my upcoming video when I do Pentax SBO Mini versus Sure Shot Sleek. But my Pentax SBO Mini, the flash stopped working.
Oh
which
no.
is good because I
Yeah.
haven't got to turn it off, but it's really annoying. 'Cause again, it's another camera I can't really sell.
I
Well, I
know,
could
it's like
sell it, but I want to get $40 for it. What's the point?
you may as well just keep it, yeah, because it's got like a defect or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Okay, cool. Well, I hope people like enjoyed seeing those, and anybody
Yeah.
who is looking to get a camera, probably people who are listening to this are trying to not buy cameras, and now they're gonna go and like look on eBay at
Yeah.
cameras because that's what
That's
we all
right.
do to each other. Did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on or share before we go to some listener interaction,
Well, we've
as
got
Mike Gutterman would
listener
say?
interactions. What about our EPs, Lucy
Oh
Lumen?
my God, yes, I forgot about that.
I know, I
Yes,
almost forgot. I'm just loading up Spotify to try and find mine.
yes.
So I had the idea a while ago of us doing a little EP. Now, an EP for younger listeners who are, who go around saying things like it's been a minute, it's been a hot minute, and things living rent free in your head. An EP, back in the old days when records were released on vinyl, you'd usually get a little 45 vinyl, a little one, and there'd be one song each side. Typically, you might get two songs on one side and one side of the other, but usually it was one side. It was an A side and a B side. And the A
Yes,
side was
yep.
the good song, and the B side was a filler. But then sometimes you'd have an album then, of course, which were the bigger ones where people would put like, 5 or 6 tracks either side. But then there was this in-between format called an EP. An EP was called an extended play, and there'd be like 2 songs on either side. So it wasn't a single and it wasn't an album. It was kind of like an EP. It was like a mini album.
Yep.
So I floated the idea to Lucy Lumen, why don't we, each episode, we choose a film, and then we have to create, in Spotify, we have to create an EP of 4 songs that match the version of what we think about when we think of that film. Okay, so the first film that I chose was Lomachrome Purple, and we've each chosen 4 songs that match our own visions of what Lomachrome Purple means to us in terms of music.
Yep.
And we are going to get the listeners and the watchers,
You people.
you people out there, you what do you call them? The great unwashed. Isn't that what you called them earlier, Lucy Lumen? We're going to get them to vote on our musical choices.
No, it's such a cool idea. I'm really annoyed that I didn't come up with it. Like I told Lux and I was like, oh, because it really sounds like something I would come up with.
It totally is.
I'm always like music and photography, and then I didn't come up with this idea. And I love records too, so I have heaps of EPs, and like it's such a cool idea. So
now, when we spoke
done.
yesterday, you hadn't even listened to mine.
I still haven't listened to it. I'm really sorry.
That is disgraceful.
That is really disgraceful. Well, I was getting ready for this, and we added so many things to you can add it to the bones to pick. That's a pretty big bone. I'm sorry. The book's just getting a real workout in this analog 2 hours. I haven't had a chance to listen to it. I'm really sorry, but I will. And then everyone else can listen to it. We can all listen to it at the same time, and people can vote. And who embodied it better.
Yep.
Musically, have you listened to mine?
I have.
Hard feelings if you haven't.
No, I have. I was mowing the lawn, going, "What the hell is this?" It was like my ears. There was blood pouring out of my ears. Had to turn my Walkman down. But no, I did. The first song, I knew the Mazzy Star song. Do you want to go through your songs and just give a brief overview of what makes you think they're purple?
Okay.
Or what you don't have to if you don't want to.
No. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. So it's funny that you said that, because when I first met Lux, I made him a playlist of music because we had a lot of similar interests in music, but I had a lot of friends in bands that were like very, very lo-fi, like bedroom recording sort of sounding. And I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. So I made him a playlist of it, and he said he was listening to it in his car and he thought that the speakers were broken because it was recorded so badly. And I thought that was like fine, because I listen to music like that all the time. And we always joke about it now. And he always says like, oh God, this is another one of your tracks, not mine. Yeah. He likes things to be kind of like high fidelity. So I went through and I made my EP based on, like, originally I was like, okay, music, like when I think of Lomachrome Purple, like I know you said like you get like a real dreamy kind of vibe, and a lot of people say that about that film stock, and I get that too. So then I thought about like shoegaze as a genre and like dream pop as a genre of music, but I realized as I was making my playlist, a lot of it was coming from like visuals, so either the album cover or the video clip to that song, with the Smashing Pumpkins track Rhinoceros, which anybody who's listening who likes Smashing Pumpkins will know. The video clip, and like a lot of their video clips, like some of them were cross-processed in the 90s. Yeah, and very, very had a very dreamy kind of like quality to them. And then the
Yep.
cover of that album, yeah, all of the covers have like purple in them. So it was interesting because I didn't realize it at first, but I was like, a lot of mine are more visual. And I think that's where I get my crossover with music and photography is from video clips, from looking at record covers, like the style of the people or just that kind of vibe, as well as the music. But yeah, so when people look at the playlist on Spotify, they'll hopefully see that. But I'm interested to like, I assume yours will be very different. I'm
I
sorry
don't
for
know what
hurting your ears with my
No, it was fine. I always get the Smashing Pumpkins and the Pixies mixed up. So I see Smashing Pumpkins, I think, oh yeah, I probably know the song when I hear it, and then I
Yep.
think, I did recognize the Smashing Pumpkins song, but I think I always knew more of the Pixies songs. I don't know why I always get them mixed up, but
No, that's
they're
fair
similar.
enough. A lot of those 90s bands are quite
Yeah,
sort of
similar.
very, very similar. Yeah, they were
Yeah, no,
all
I did. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing your Vision of Purple. Put it that way. So mine, I've chosen very dreamy ones. There's a lot of, I guess the general genre of what I've chosen, I guess, could be described as like chill hop, kind of chill music.
Yeah, yep.
So they're all very heavily sampled songs. So the first one is called Daydream in Blue. It was a song that was around in the UK probably about 15 years ago. It actually samples a folk song from the 70s where they're singing Daydream. I won't sing it, Daydream, but I fell asleep beneath the flowers for a couple of hours.
Yes, yeah. I
You
know
the
that.
song?
Yeah.
So
I'm with
that's
you.
the first song, and it's got this really cool sound to it.
That sounds very purple. Like I can see that already, like knowing that.
Very like you've had some purple mushrooms and you're tripping.
Yeah, and you're laying in the grass and you're all like, yeah totally. I can see that vision. Yep.
The second one I chose is called Little Fluffy Clouds by The Orb. So I'm not a huge fan of The Orb, but Little Fluffy Clouds, they found this, someone sent them an interview with, what's her name? I can't remember. She's, you know the song The Horses? Is it Ricky Lee?
The Horses.
You know that song by Daryl, you know the song we know in Australia, The Horses by, you know that song? I'm not going to sing it.
I don't know if I know this. You're gonna have to sing it, man.
I'm not going to sing it. That's I can't sing that. It's above an octave above where I am.
It's too okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
You know that song, Daryl Braithwaite, The Horses? That's the way it's going to be, little darling.
Oh yeah, I know that song. I know that song.
Yeah, it's like a really
I didn't know it was called The Horses. Sorry. Yeah, I'm really bad
The Horses.
with.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go riding on the horses.
The Horses makes sense now. Yeah.
Bit of a clue. Yeah. So it's a very famous song in Australia because of a guy called Daryl Braithwaite did a cover version of it. The original song, The Horses, was recorded by an American singer called Ricky Lee Jones.
Okay.
Now, what you might be thinking, what the hell has this got to do with your playlist? Well, Ricky Lee Jones did this interview once, right? This is years ago, and the interviewer said, I don't know what the context of the interviewer was, but you can imagine the interviewers interviewing Ricky Lee Jones, the singer. How's the tour going? What's the new album like? Right? And then this question is, what were the skies like when you were younger? It's the most random question, and so then she starts going on about what the skies were like when she was younger. She was living in Arizona in the desert, and the skies were purple and pink and orange, and so there's basically this sample of this interview with Ricky Lee Jones put over dance music.
Okay.
And she says little fluffy clouds, and so that's the second song. It's called Little Fluffy Clouds. It's very, very trippy. It's got this sample from Ricky Lee Jones who is the singer of The Horses.
Okay, I like this story.
I'm exhausted.
It was like, I was like, oh, but now I'm following you, and I like that when music has a story.
And she didn't actually know that the Orb were going to use her voice, and it's really interesting sort of story, but it's a really cool song, Little Fluffy Clouds. The next one is by an Australian band called the Avalanches, called Since I Left You.
Yep.
Do you know that one?
Yep. I know that one very well.
Really cool music video clip as well.
Yep.
And the last one is by a French band called Air. It's called All I Need. Do you know that one as well?
I love Air.
There you go.
Air.
Do you like
that's so good for Lomo Purple for sure. That's a really good choice because it's got that floaty kind of, like Air.
What about?
They're such a cool band.
Do you like 07 as well?
07. I don't think I know who that is.
07 are a British band had Sia was actually in 07.
Oh, okay.
About 20 years ago. Anyway, cool. So that's my selection. Very different selection to Lucy Lumen. So it'll be interesting to see. I feel like this will be skewed towards the Lucy Lumen ear bleeding fans. I reckon you'll get an easy win. I think I do get a lot of people like message me about music
like, and they love that, you know, 90s like grunge, like that whole kind of vibe, and a lot of the stuff in there is like that. Like people like Mike Gutterman, like me and him, have a very similar sort of taste in music, so maybe. But I don't know, I feel like yours kind of does match, like yours is more of a universal kind of feel of
well, I guess,
Purple, though mine's
and
very, very niche. Mine's like the camera with the world map on the back, like it's, you know, it's probably only appealing to like a certain
I
amount
guess,
of people.
and I'm not trying to make an appeal for votes here, but I guess what you got to think of with the songs is which playlist feels more like the film. I guess that's what we're trying to do.
It's not about which music they like more. I mean, it's about who
I could have put up 4 bangers by U2 and that would have won for sure.
I was wondering if there's any U2 in there, or if there ever will be. It was on there was Beautiful Day or something like that was on in when I was in Woolworths doing my grocery shopping the other day. I was on my own, and I reached up to grab something and it came on, and I had a little laugh.
You went, Matt Murray!
I was like, I'm Matt Murray, and I thought I should text him, but I thought, no, I should just keep going doing my grocery shopping. So yeah. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if you two make an appearance in the future. But it's such a cool idea, like so cool, because I think a lot of people...
I'm an ideas man.
You are. It's another $1 billion idea from you with these EPs that we're putting out.
Don't know how I do it.
Yeah, but I think, so I'm going to choose the next stock. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll have to have a think about that, because it'll get really interesting, because some stocks have a real feel to them, like Lomo Purple, like it's got a strong visual, it's got a feel, like, you know, it's very unique. But then, you know, you think about other films where it's maybe not so like that. So I'll have to maybe I'll choose Ector. I'm sort of leaning towards that because that's like my favorite film, and I think that's got a definite vibe to it as well. You know, like it stands out from the pack. But yeah, people can vote. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put it on the YouTube community tab.
Great.
On my channel, so I can post things on there. I'm not sure if people are familiar with it. It should pop up in your feed, but you can always go to the community tab to look at it, and I'll do a poll. So I'll do like Matt Murray, Lucy Lumen for the EPs, and you can just vote for which one you think is best, and then we'll leave it up for maybe a week or something. I'm not sure how long they stay up for. I don't know. Like, I don't know how long that, or a couple of days or something like that. And
a couple of days, good, longer than a couple of days.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it longer than that.
I think you're just going to leave it open until you get a lead, and then you're going to shut it down, Lucy. I don't want any, you know.
Oh yeah, it could be corrupt because I'm the one that's okay, yeah.
I need an open and transparent process of voting.
Okay, yes, yeah. I'm not as familiar with this.
We could just leave it up.
Just leave it up to the next episode.
Unless it closes early, but by itself.
I just don't know how, like, if it becomes inactive after a while. But anyway, people can message me if they have issues, and we can find some way. This is the first time we're doing it, so we'll iron out all the kinks now.
Have you chosen your film for next time?
I'm not sure. I'll have to have a think. Maybe Kodak Ector.
I knew you'd say that.
Maybe that, or I don't know. I'll have to have a think. Because I feel like I could go turquoise, but then I've never shot turquoise before.
No,
it
neither
doesn't really matter. But like, you know, I'll probably choose something
good,
that's
we'll wait to hear from you.
Yes, I will let people know. But I think this is a really cool idea. And if other people have made playlists or they want to, because they're like, I think that these songs really embody Lomo Purple, please make them and send them to us and tag us on Instagram.
LucyLumen@gmail.com.
Yes, LucyLumenAnalog@gmail.com, or just DM me or whatever, and let us know, because I love I'm a big music fan. So yeah, that'd be cool to hear from the audience, or comment below.
And she'll read your playlist and not listen to it like she has mine.
And then you can start your own book with Bones to Pick with Lucy Lumen in the film community, and you can put it on.
We can do like a wiki.
Yeah, you can put it on Reddit. And
editable Wikipedia.
Yeah. That sounds great for my mental health. Okay, so
it comes from a place of love for you, Lucy Lumen.
Yes, no, I know that. All right.
It's funny. Years ago when I was at high school, there was a 14. We were about 14, and we had this Canadian. I think he was Canadian. Was he American? I can't remember. Exchange student. And we always used to give him crap. Like he'd come and he'd have his, I don't know, he'd do weird stuff because he wasn't used to our culture and our way of life. He'd do some weird stuff, we just like give him crap all the time. And he'd like, one day he sort of said to us, "Why do you? I thought we were friends." We're like, "Yeah, we are friends, man. We're good mates." He goes, "Why are you always like ripping on me and giving you crap?" We're like, It's because we're friends that we're giving you crap, man. We
Yeah.
don't give crap to people we don't like. We only give crap to
We're
people we
nice to them.
like.
Yeah.
We give a false appearance of niceness
We're
to
fake
them.
nice
We
to
hate
them.
them.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It is kind of hard to understand, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. I mean, look at you and bloody Matthew Joseph. It's just ruthless. Like when I'm listening, sometimes I'm just, you guys are just mean to each other the whole entire
Well, it's
time,
mainly
and
him
I'm
to
like,
me, to be fair.
yeah, that's true. He's ruthless. Yeah, he's super ruthless. And your time will come, Matthew Joseph. We'll get him on as a guest. I think that'd be really fun to have.
We need like a
three of
pano
us.
version of Zoom.
Yes, we do,
Yeah.
so we can fit everyone in. Oh dear. All right. So moving on to some listener interaction, as Mike Gutterman would
This is going to
say.
take Lux about 16 hours to upload to YouTube.
I know. Oh, the last one took so long to upload. God knows how. I guess I don't think Joe Rogan puts the whole thing up on YouTube, but
he's got a team though.
I'm sure he's got a team behind him.
You've just got a Lux. No, sorry, it sounds bad, but
yeah, he's a good one-man team. All right. So yeah, listener interaction. Who wants to go first?
I'm just scrolling back in your messages here. Okay, I've got them up here now. Do I think film is just a fad? This is O'Neill.onfilm. I don't think it's a fad because obviously it's been around a long time. But it'll be interesting. Like, is the film resurgence? I've said this before. Are we in the last great heyday of film now? What if raw material prices of silver and other chemicals that go into film, what if it becomes so bad that film in the future is going to cost $60, $70 a roll? That would kill it off, for most people. So I think we could be in the last little bit now. We could be in the last little bit where it's actually affordable for many people. What do you think?
Some people, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a question that's like, like, where do you start?
Yeah.
And I agree with you to a certain extent, but then I'm kind of like, I like to be positive about it because it's, I've built so much around it. I think I was talking to
if film goes, you got nothing.
No analog hour, yeah, we did the digital hour. So yeah, I like to try and stay positive about it, and it does seem like there's so much innovation like in the industry, and people are really trying really hard, and film has like faced so much like kind of adversity in the past and like bounced back, and know it's been said that it's dead and it's coming back, and I think I sort of ignore the things like you've just said, like, materials. Or I was talking to somebody the other day who has like a camera shop, and he said, like a film camera shop, and he said that the thing that we have to worry about is like the chemicals. Like if Fuji stop making chemicals to like develop and stuff like that, then we would be pretty.
That's the thing. I don't think any of us really realize now in the 21st century how what on a knife edge some of these supply chains are on. I mean, again, like I don't know, like I feel like I've got a lot of cameras and maybe I should start selling them. You don't want it to be like, what's that game you play when you're kids? When you have to sit on the chair and you go around musical chairs.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the last one standing with 1,500 film cameras and you can't get film anymore.
No one wants to buy them. Yeah.
No one wants to buy them.
That's very true. Yeah.
Sell your film cameras now, kids.
Oh yeah, you'll be like Rugs a Million, or like all gotta go. Yeah, I think like with the fad thing too. Like I'm not sure if that's what this person's getting at, but like you see, like I think I sent you a channel a little while ago, and I'm not sure if people listening are familiar with it. Her name's Audrey Storm. And she has like a lifestyle YouTube channel that, it's about everything, those channels. And she's got millions and millions of views. But she has a lot of film photography content on her YouTube channel. And I was interested to see like what she was saying about it and what she was doing. And she's scanning at home. And what she's saying isn't always sort of like correct, which doesn't bother me at all because I'm, not very correct. But yeah, she seems to be really, really into it. And her community seems to be into it. And they're like probably predominantly young women.
Yeah.
And I think that that's great. So like whether that will continue on, I don't know, but it seems to have been going for like a little while, and someone like her who has like a lot of influence and like the people seem to get really connected with it. And I think the more we go on where we're so disconnected from each other and we don't have anything tangible and everything is online and everything is like easy, people are going to be really like grasping at those like tangible nostalgic things. So in that way, I don't think it's a fad because I think it'll continue to like evolve, and people will always find it magical and interesting that
absolutely
that you put this in this camera and you get this
that'll never
result.
not be amazing. Do you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So yeah.
And on that vein, SL35mm says, discontinued film you always wanted to shoot.
I mean, like, I find this difficult to answer because I'm not a big, like, oh, I remember that film. Like, when I get discontinued film like sent to me, like we just showed you that what was it?
Fuji something, yeah.
Super with the
not HGV, it's heavy goods vehicle, but something like that.
something like that, where it was only 12 exposures. Like, I'm always like, oh, I never knew, like, I've never shot that. So I guess, like, I feel like I've already shot it because Riala, like Riala was just like amazing, and I'm just like so bummed out that that's not around for me to shoot, because that would literally be my like go-to. Like, I just loved it. It was so good. So, but yeah, what about you? You probably
you could have just said Riala.
Yeah. We're not at quick fire yet.
Okay, I'm going to do
listener interaction.
I could do 60 seconds of fluff to try and get the watch hours out, but I'm going to just say Fortier, Fujifilm Fortier. There you go.
Okay, see, I've never heard of that.
It's a slide film, and it's a slide film. They say there's a theory. I don't know if this is true or not. There's a theory that it was a batch of Velvia where it didn't pass quality control, but they shot some of it and they thought it looks really good. The cherry blossom season in Japan, the colors of that looked really good, so they released Fortier, Fortia, as is this new film to shoot the cherry blossoms on in Japan. And it was a limited run around 2004 maybe. You can still buy it. It's very expensive. I mean, do you really want to buy an 18-year-old slide film? I mean, I wouldn't drop $100 US bucks on it. I mean, if someone gave it to me, great, I'd shoot it. But what's it going to be like 18? Unless it's been cold stored, what's it going to be like after 18 for how many years? But if it was fresh, I'd love that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I'll have to have a little look at it because I've never heard of it. Do you have any other listener ones that you would like to address, Matthew?
There's a lot of big ones here. Maybe we should keep some of them for next time.
Yeah, maybe.
What's the most unusual place you've ever shot from, Lucy Lemon? This is NP Jensen 78.
Yes.
What's the most unusual place you've ever shot from? Mine is a 225-meter tall chimney. Holy smokes! Holy smokes!
Holy smokes! There you go.
I actually got this is many years ago. Not that many years ago. Probably around 7 or 8 years ago, I had to shoot, the lighthouse at Cleveland where we went for a video once.
Yep.
So our tourism people where I used to work needed a shot of that, and so this is kind of before drones, become too common, really common. The drones were around, but they weren't that common. Weren't
super common like they are now.
No,
yeah.
And so they said, okay, we've got a cherry picker, and they put me in this cherry picker, and we went up in the probably about 20 meters up in the air, and I'm scared of heights. I was kind of crapping my pants, but I had my 2 Nikon cameras at the time, digital cameras, and I took pictures of a lighthouse from a cherry picker of a lighthouse. That's the most unusual thing.
Good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like yours?
From a height, I haven't done anything from a height. Like, I'm not a big adventurer.
You're a ground.
I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground. Yeah.
2 feet.
So yeah,
got your chucks on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not going camping, or I'm not Nathan. Like,
No.
I'm just not doing that. So I'd probably say like IKEA, and like, because that's pretty unusual. Yep. Like, who goes to IKEA and shoots like a whole roll of film?
I actually took a couple of cameras to IKEA last time we went. I took a few photos there.
Yes, you messaged me and you said, I'm at IKEA, I've got my camera.
And that's the night I discovered my SBO Mini. The flash wasn't working, so I was really bummed. Anyway.
Damn. But yeah, that's kind of boring because people already know that about me. But anything else that you would like to address? We can always save some for next time.
Some of them are a bit longer, and I feel like we've waffled on quite a lot.
We have.
Well, when I say we, I mean you. Oh. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I can waffle with the best of them. So
collaboratively, we just
I'm just trying to rip on you a bit more.
Waffle,
get a few more lols out of you.
Yeah. It's been yes. Well, I think so mine. Someone's put film is too expensive. And I'm like, yes, I agree with you, and I feel your pain. Just to address that you've said that.
I think it's just that we've come out, like 3 or 4 years ago, people were going, "Oh my God, film cameras are so expensive. I can't believe a Contax T2 costs $500 now." But obviously it's a lot more than that now. But I think people come out of this doldrums where film cameras around the 2010 were just people were giving them away, right? And then when they got expensive, people were saying, "Oh, it's getting really expensive," and then it was only around 2019 when you could still buy, Color Plus for $3 a roll, $3 a roll, or those other stocks, Kodak Gold, $3 a roll. And again, it's kind of like the cameras all got got expensive, and now the film has now caught up because of supply chain issues, because of raw material costs, because of manufacturer issues. The film's now gone up, and so people are saying it's really expensive. I don't know. I think if you really look back at historic costs of films, I don't think it's that bad. It's just more expensive than it was 3 or 4 years ago. The other thing is this: if you go into a store and buy, just say you go and buy a Fuji digital camera or a Sony or a Nikon or whatever camera you want to buy, just say it costs, I don't know, $1,500. You walk it out of that shop and use it for a month, it's now worth $1,000. You know what I mean? If you buy a film camera, at least, you've got a very good chance.
And so it's going to appreciate.
It's either going to go up or you're going to get your money back. Unless you drop it or something, you're going to get your money back for it.
For sure. So kind of like cars. It's like when you buy a brand new car, as soon as you drive it away, it's worth like so much less. You go buy like a Mustang or something, it's like an investment.
There's pros and cons with the film. The film is expensive, and the processing's going up and all that kind of stuff. But at least the cameras are either going up or you probably get your money back for it, right? Digital, but if you're shooting digital, you're saving money and all the other stuff, but you walk out of that shop with a new camera, it's not worth, it's barely worth 2/3 of what it was when you bought it.
Totally. Yeah. I think the only thing I would say, I don't know if this sounds silly, but it's kind of what I do now, especially because film is really expensive. And I know a lot of people say, like young people or students say, I can't afford to buy like the film and get it developed. Like those two things together, like it's a lot, which I totally agree with. But I think like, I don't know if this sounds silly, but I'll just say it, asking for like birthdays, like
absolutely,
like you got you got some family, people want to buy you something, a gift voucher, a brick of film,
no one wants undies,
like just tell people that that's what you want, or like and everyone's got a birthday. If it's Mother's Day, there's plenty of days that you can capitalize on to get people to buy you film. So that would be that's what I do. I'm always like tell my brother and his wife, like, I want to get me a voucher for somewhere like Walk-ins or somewhere like that, and then I guess
it also comes down to like how many people who are saying that film is expensive. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people, a lot of different socioeconomic backgrounds shooting film, people who can barely afford anything to people who are very rich shooting film. But I guess it comes down to, how much of a priority is film in your life? Do you go out to the pub once a week with your mates? Well, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but if you're blowing 50 quid or $100 down the, the club every night with your mates, like I can't afford film, film's expensive. Just don't go one week. Then you can shoot film. And
I agree. I think it's a bit privileged. This is not lifestyle advice
or financial advice from me, by the way. I'm just saying you kind of
the financial hour.
Yeah, I guess you've got to. Well, I guess people would say, "Well, that's not fair. I haven't got any money. I can't shoot film." But I don't know. I think everyone makes choices in their life, regardless of what their means are. And I guess how much does film mean to you? Or are you just happy shooting digital? I mean,
totally. Yeah. Or cut back on how much you're shooting. Like
half frame.
Yeah. Or like, you're shooting some digital, some, or I don't know, you shoot more like black and white because you can maybe get that for a little bit cheaper, or I don't know. There's compromises you can make. And I agree with you. I think when I see people online getting really, really like riled up about it and really angry at companies, and I sometimes think that's a little bit tone deaf, because I'm more worried that petrol's $2.50 a litre. And how, or like the fact that, lettuce is like $10 a head in Woolworths at the moment.
Yeah. And there's like here in Queensland at the moment, there's a terrible rental crisis. People are literally sleeping in their cars. They've got nowhere to live.
Yeah. You can't afford to buy a house because, those things to me are more like important than,
and it's not as hobby. If like the cost of building materials here in Australia or worldwide, but here in Australia is a number of building companies I think that are going broke because the raw materials they need to build a house have gone up so much. They already contracted to build a house for X amount and they didn't have the materials. They've now got to buy them in. They're making a loss on it. Like it's everywhere. Inflation is rampant in the UK, USA, Europe, now Australia. So
it kind of have the blinkers on a little bit if you think that that's the most important thing or the thing that you're the most angry about. Then I think you got to check yourself a little bit, I think. But like at the same time, like, yes, I feel your pain and I know, but like also it gives us something to complain about, because I feel like we do kind of a little bit love to, will film stay alive, and we all talk about it like it's a thing that we're always all talking about. So okay, what else do I have here? I had a question that I wanted to Analog Townie, Travis over in Florida, he's lovely. He said, how do you store and organize your negatives?
Yeah, I didn't choose that one because I thought that's going to be a half an hour answer.
Just a quick, mine's quick. I can tell you mine.
You chuck them in the bin.
No, they're just in a box and they're in their thing that they've either been sent back to me or from Camera House. like in a few different boxes, and that's it. And I know that's bad, but every time I go to buy the sleeves that you the thing, they're always sold out, and then I literally just forget about it. And now I'm getting all my images in high res from Ikigai because I want to be able to sell bigger prints online. And then, you know, I don't have to rescan a negative if later on I want to do something with the print or whatever. So Lux and I were kind of saying, oh, do we need the negative? Is that bad? Like if you've got a high res?
Not really. I think I once listened to Hamish Gill, who runs 35mmC. I think he was on Sunny 16 podcast, and he sort of famously said that he throws his negatives away, and people were horrified at that.
Yeah,
like,
it feels
why would you do that?
Like,
and he said, well, I've got the scans. Why do I need the negatives for? And I've got all mine in those. I get them back from the lab, and I put them in these A4 kind of like.
Sheets,
like I can't remember the brand, what it is, but I did that when I was unemployed during COVID a couple of years ago, and I've kind of stopped then because I got too many to go. But I kind of felt like, what was the purpose of this? I can now sort of find my negatives a bit quicker, but I never use my negatives. I mean, what's the point? I wouldn't throw them away though, but I kind of don't use them.
I don't want to throw them away because it feels bad, and it seems really wasteful too. I'm sure it's not good, but and you know, it's nice to have them, and it is like but I don't really like especially if I've got a high res image, and also I don't have time. I feel like it's very like I've watched videos on people who this is how which they are really great videos, so maybe jump on YouTube and look those up, but it seems like something that I would have done before I had a child, because I would have had time to be like, oh, I'm gonna like, you know, organize
seems
my
like
negatives.
Things I would have done before I had a life.
I had time, you know, I used to go through my clothes and they were all color coordinated, and now like there's just shit everywhere. So I just don't have time.
Doing that when I was unemployed for something to do. Like I would, you know, but the thing, I don't know, like I don't know what the answer is, because I just Ikigai I just sent 7 rolls down to Ikigai, and I said, you guys have got I reckon you've got at least 30 negative rolls, like 30 lots of my negatives down there, so they're sending them back. But when they get back, what am I going to do with them? I don't know.
Because that's an added cost too. Like they sent my negatives back, and I was like, do I need to be adding that on to, you know?
Just burn them.
Just burn them.
Torch.
Oh dear. Okay, so what else do we have here? Okay, this is it, and then we'll stop because this could be a big topic.
I gotta go in a sec.
Okay, all right. Okay. Is it good or bad to shoot cliche photos?
Shoot whatever the hell you want.
I agree. Go for whatever.
There's always a new take. There's always a new, you know, a fresh look at it. Like I shot a gas station, petrol station on CineStill 400D. I didn't go out trying to shoot that. It just looked beautiful against the sunset, so I shot it. Is it a cliche? Probably, but I think it was a good shot.
Definitely. I agree.
If you don't agree, you know, you can email lucylumenanalog@gmail.com and tell her.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think you should be letting other people police what you should and shouldn't be shooting, or how you should be shooting, or whatever. It's totally your thing. So your gig. That was from Matt Berry. So thank you for that. There are a few other questions. We'll try and get to them next time. But thank you to everybody who wrote in. So we'll end on the quickfire round. Matthew.
Sure. I've only got about 7. Is that okay?
That's totally fine. Yeah, that'll actually make it quick. Maybe I'll try and be quick. I'm ready.
Actually,
I'm worried.
I'm going to add one in. This is really going to throw you. Okay, here's the first one. Lux or Luca?
Oh God, that's like Sophie's choice. I can't answer. I mean, look, to be honest, we've talked about this before because I don't know why, but you know, I always think about these scenarios in my head. So it's like, if I did kind of like Sophie's choice, if I did have to choose, I'd have to choose Luca because he's my child.
Because he's small and defenseless.
He's got more life left in him.
Lux can fend for himself.
Yeah, I have to get someone to help me out with the YouTube channel, but
yeah. Okay. Recycling or throwing in the bin?
Recycling for sure.
Sure Shot Telly or Sure Shot Max XL or whatever it's called?
I'd go with Telly because it has nostalgic vibes for me, even though it's not as good.
Mike Gutterman or Andre Dominguez?
Oh God. Look, I'm gonna have to go. I've yesterday just got in touch with Andre, and he's so lovely, and I'm excited for our friendship. But I've been friends with Mike Gutterman for longer, and we have a very
just answer the question, Lucy.
Mike Gutterman for now, but it could be, you know, that could change, Andre.
Okay. CineStill 400D or Portra 800?
Oh, Cine Still 400D. I'm in love. So good.
Loving it. Hashtag loving it.
Hashtag loving it. Yeah.
Lucy's loving it.
You love like a Macca's reference.
I do. I've made a few Jerry Maguire ones.
The KFC,
KFC, yeah.
Shut up.
Do you know that we made 3 Jerry Maguire references in our first episode?
Really?
Did you know that? Yeah. Was Show Me the Money one.
Show Me the Money. Yeah, yeah.
You had me at Lucy Lumen.
Okay, yeah.
Help Me, Help You. They're all Jerry Maguire quotes.
Oh,
we watched Top Gun the other night. Gee, that's a bad movie. The original.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It's not a great movie.
I've never seen it.
I don't think it's a great movie.
And Lux wants to see the new one.
You know that song Berlin, Take My Breath Away, Take My Breath Away? That plays for about half an hour in the middle of the movie. It's
a real kind of epic,
over and over again.
I'm not interested in seeing it at all.
And all the plane fights, right? So like, he's coming down, he's going to be like, what the hell? I can't even work out what the hell's going on. There's all these planes going everywhere.
And I find action scenes really hard to follow. I like
he's on my tail. He's on my tail. Why don't you just like get out of the way? Like,
yeah.
Is that hard? I don't know. I've never flown a plane. What do I know? But, okay, anyway.
We think we're authorities on everything.
Tom Cruise or Lux Lumen?
Definitely Lux Lumen, for sure.
Goose or Maverick?
I'm not what's that? Is that...
That's the 2 guys from Top Gun.
Who are they? Tom Cruise and
some guy who dies. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Nah. I don't like anyone like I don't have maybe like Johnny Depp or someone like in his heyday, but like I don't think Brad Pitt's attractive.
I've got a story about Johnny Depp, but I'll tell you about another time.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've taken a photo of Johnny Depp. I've taken a real life photo of Johnny Depp.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was up here, Cleveland near the lighthouse. He was shooting Pirates of the Caribbean here a few years ago, and I took photos of him. Sarah got in a photo with him. I'll send it to you.
Because he was here. Yeah. Oh my God, send it to me. Oh wow.
Okay, last couple of questions. Here we go. I got summer or winter?
Summer for sure, 100%.
I love a bit of winter.
I love a bit of winter. Nah.
And finally, sheesh or yeet.
Oh God. Go with this whatever that second one is, because that first one, like I'm not even saying that. The first one,
you're gonna yeet my sheesh.
I just don't like that first one at all. It's just way too like when people say like fire, and I don't
say fire.
I just don't.
There you go. It's into my quick fire, Lisa Lehman. That's for the analog 4 hours is complete this time.
I feel like we added a few things in there though, like new things, and this is like our little like the therapy socializing session. So
absolutely.
And I think people enjoy the Matt and Lucy combo.
Yeah.
Okay, well I hope they do. I'm looking forward to your next videos, Matt, and your articles and everything else that you have coming up. And don't forget to go over and look at the competition on mattlovescameras.com. I'll link everything below so people can check that out. And thank you for tuning into this. Please comment below. Let us know what you thought. If you have
vote on your EP.
Don't forget to vote on the EP. It'll be in the community tab later on today, probably tonight. Check. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Matt. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too.